Hello and welcome to the Emperor's New Podcast, where we explore every corner of the Emperor's New Groove universe. I am your host, Micah Hirsh, and today we'll be discussing and promoting a shameless, self-indulgent tie-in episode to promote my Fanimatic, The Platypus's New Groove. Joining me today is the voice of Ferb in said Fanimatic, Miss Jukebox 8.
By the time I finish the sentence, I'll have said more words than I did in this entire animatic.
And the voice of Major Monogram and Roger Doofenshmirtz, Joe Kaufman.
Hi, I've actually never watched The Emperor's New School. How about that?
What? No way, really?
It was on I am 40 years old. It was on well after I had stopped watching Disney around Mighty Ducks era.
You know what? Yeah, that's totally fair.
Yeah.
It was on the air when I was a kid, though, so I watched it like all of the time. So that's interesting. I also watched Phineas and Ferb all the time, so
Yeah.
that made this a very fun project to work on.
Sorry if you hear a
Part of.
dog barking. That's not really something I can control.
Oh,
Hey,
no
I
worries.
will. You never have to apologize for the sound of a dog barking. Dogs are amazing.
Yes, they are. They are fluff balls of wonderfulness.
So yeah. And I voiced Kronk and some other characters in this as well.
You do a fantastic Kronk impression, I have to say.
Thank you.
Yeah, as one Patrick Warburton impressionist to another, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. You really think so?
Right.
Right.
Right. I've never actually tried to do an impression of Patrick Warburton.
You have to get it in your throat, and then you and sometimes it helps to squint as well, just a little bit.
You mean this doesn't sound? I don't think this sounds exactly like it, but like, right. I don't know. I'll work on it. I'll workshop that.
So first of all, you all have seen the special. It premieres for the general public on this coming Friday, March 22nd, which will probably be either the day after tomorrow or tomorrow, depending if I feel like uploading this immediately after I finish recording and editing. What were y'all thoughts?
I thought it was very fun. This is just. I mean, I said before that I like watched Phineas and Ferb and Emperor's New Groove when I was a kid, and I just it was really fun seeing how these characters interact. I thought that you portrayed them very well, and this it feels like what would realistically happen if these characters were to come together. Uh, and I'm very glad I got to be a part of it. It was fun.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, yeah, did not grow up on Emperor's New School. I did watch some Phineas and Ferb when it was on the air. My father, of all people, watched it more than I did. He was a big fan of it.
Oh, really?
And I did go back and watch some Emperor's New School, just in kind of like preparation, just to get an idea of what the show was. Watched a couple of the episodes that were made by the writers of Ghost and Molly McGee that you had recommended, Micah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, so yeah, no, like yeah, there were a lot of it's like you obviously love the show. I could tell by how some of the characters are written, the dialogue, the attitudes, the yeah, what you would put in there. It was really obvious you care a lot about this show.
I feel like it would be really hard to do this podcast if you didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very clear that you understand the characters a lot, and I especially love seeing a bunch of the running gags and how the different characters interacted with them. Because I know that Phineas and Ferb and The Emperor's New School are both shows that really love their running gags quite a lot. And
that was kind of where the idea came from.
Yeah, that makes sense. And the script really really felt that. What am I trying to say? That it really felt like you were like paying homage to that in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, watching it despite not having seen every episode, there were a couple of things I saw in there where I'm like, okay, yeah, that's definitely a running gag. That's a running joke style. Okay, yeah, I get it. And yeah, it was kind of fun, I guess, as an outsider to watch that and pick up on those things where I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this is something special here.
Yeah. How did either of you get into voice work, if you don't mind talking about that a little bit?
I mean, for me, I haven't really done a ton of voice work. I've just been like doing acting for like my own videos and stuff mostly. I have auditioned for like a couple roles in other online projects, and they have I haven't this is honestly like probably the biggest role that I've gotten in in terms of voice acting for other people's projects so far.
Yeah, well, you did great.
Thank you. I put everything I could into the two lines that I was given. And you know, it was I just like being a part of things like this. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's fun being able to just be a part of a project where that a bunch of people are working together on like this. And yeah, if you ever do anything more like this, I would love to, you know, give it a shot again. But uh
Yeah, I know that pain. I started getting into voice acting back in 2019, and oh god, the pandemic hit, and but luckily online and virtual recording sessions kind of became more popular, and
Yeah.
because I'm not in an area where there's a big voice acting industry, so I kind of studied voice acting because it had always been an interest of mine, despite never really pursuing it before then. And yeah, with finding out that virtual recordings were becoming more and more a thing, I'm like, oh, okay, I got a real shot at this then. So I started investing more in like recording equipment and a booth and taking more classes. And yeah, same with Miss Jukebox. I've applied for some different online indie projects, gotten a couple of callbacks, couple of like second, maybe third tier choices, and yep, just cut at the last minute. No luck yet, but talking to people, that is the voice acting industry. You keep on chugging away, you keep on applying, don't stop, don't give up.
well, I personally thought that you were great in this, so I hope that you get a lot more roles uh like
I
that.
agree.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I'm
Yeah,
rooting for you.
thank you. Yeah, and plus, yeah, two lines. Hey, people have gotten hired on for less. There's no small parts. You put everything you can of those two lines. You own it. You make it yours.
Thank you. I mean, I don't I'm joking. I'm just joking around. I don't actually have a problem with the fact that I don't have a lot of lines in this.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm playing Ferb. Having not a lot of lines is kind of his thing, and I just I mean, I just thought it was I had a great time being a part of this. I feel like I keep saying that over and over again.
Yeah, that's
But
okay.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's part of the fun. I mean, it's part of the gag. I mean,
yeah.
heck, the only reason I technically have more lines than you is because I play two characters.
Yeah, that's true. Uh you were Major Monogram and what sorry,
Roger
what was the other one?
Roger
Roger.
Doofenshmirtz.
Oh yeah, Roger Doofenshmirtz.
John O'Hurley.
I mean the voices were so different I didn't even like recognize that it was the same person. Uh
It's one of the
That's good.
reasons I was. Yeah, I appreciate that. That's a big compliment. I I have what's been described as a bit of an elastic voice where I can go down really low, kind of like what you heard with doing the Patrick Warburton impression, and I can go a lot higher. Um, I've just been working on exercising my voice, stretching it, see how far I can go, because right here where you're hearing me, this is actually kind of my natural level.
Yeah.
So so to talk up here for Roger, it's it's not quite natural, and I'm that's kind of actually my so I used to be a substitute teacher, and depending
Oh,
on what
really?
grade level I taught at, that was the level of voice I would use. So if I was teaching high school, yeah, all right, I'd keep my voice around here, let them know I'm serious, and come on, let's just get through the day. And but then you go down lower grade levels, and by the time you get to kindergarten, you can't talk like that. You're twice as tall as everybody. You scare the heck out of them. So I learned to talk up here to the little kids and have a nice, sweet demeanor tone that sounded natural.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. That's fun. Uh, I never really thought about that, like putting on different voices like that for teaching and stuff. I it doesn't the vibe that like teachers get as you get older into the school system, it definitely feels a lot different than when you first started out.
Yeah.
So, hmm,
True.
it's interesting.
So, do you all have any questions, by the way, if just about the project or anything?
Uh, I'm not sure. I was kind of surprised that you and that the takes that you ended up using for the project were the ones I did for the audition.
Yeah.
Uh, I uh I was kind of just expecting like that you would want me to re-record those lines, but I'm glad that you thought that I did good on the first try with those
Yeah.
ones. Uh, I'm not sure what other questions. I mean, I guess like are you planning on doing like other? I know that you have a couple ideas for other Fanimatics of the same ilk that you've talked about. I mean, do you want to talk about some of those possibly?
Well, there's the problem is I have too many things I want to do and I can't do them all in a
Yeah, I
timely
feel that.
manner. So
The
right
creator's
now,
curse.
after I finish this, I'm gonna wrap up the sequel to my documentary I'm working on, and then I'm going to do something completely unrelated to any of this. I'm going to be making an animated. Well, I'm on the fence if it's going to be limited animation or if it could work as just an animatic, but a movie, but like people would go out and see it, but it would be promoted so people would know that it's like not fully animated. Um, Slasher film.
Oh, I mean that sounds really cool. I mean, I've seen a lot of different like styles of animation for movies. I think that like a limited animation thing like this could still work. Like, I mean, uh that show Epithet Erased did something like that, and I mean it wasn't a feature film, but I thought it was a web series that I thought was very good.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm hoping to. Oh, go ahead.
I didn't have anything else to
Oh,
say.
yeah.
You go
I'm
on.
I'm just
Yeah.
hoping that really crack a really good story and script so that will all support that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I mean that's like the most important part. Like, I think, or one of the most important parts, like making sure that like the story and stuff is good.
Yeah. And I've been working on uh for a while. I took a break for now, but for early development and I'm hoping to go back to this. I was working on coming up with different ideas for the film with Agatha Vile.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'll be awesome.
Yeah, it should be fun. She is a firecracker.
Yeah, she's great. Uh,
Um
I guess I have a question.
yeah.
So yeah, how how long did it take for you to do all your drawings for the animatic?
Once I got, not including the voice, getting all the voices recorded and set up. Once I started just drawing and only drawing, about a year and a half.
Oh,
Yeah, I did take breaks in between, so that may be why that may contribute to it. I had
of course.
initially thought I had taken 3 years, but that's because, and I'm not bad at math, but I don't always think mathly, if that makes sense. So I thought, well, I made it started in 2022 and I'm ending in 2024. That's 3 years, right? But no, it's been a year and a half.
I mean, time has the past couple years has just kind of been really wonky and
Well,
weird.
It was made in 3 years, but not over the course of 3 entire years.
Yeah, I
Gotcha.
I understand.
So yeah, so it took a year and a half to make. And I'm pretty proud of it. I did when I could, I did cheat some. I did reuse some poses and stuff, but
I mean, so did the original series, of like both of them, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's the Disney model.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got to keep things like simplistic for TV animation, and I thought you captured that well. The characters surprisingly fit together, but they don't look too out of place next to each other. Honestly.
You mean compared to like the Marvel animated characters?
Yeah, I just like it felt like they almost belonged in the world. I think one of the reasons that I love this so much is that I also grew up on the Lilo and Stitch series.
Yeah.
That is a show I watched a lot, and my favorite episodes of that show was when they would do crossovers with like Kim Possible and Recess and the Proud Family.
Yeah.
And all of those. I think there was another one. Was there another one?
American Dragon.
Yeah, American Dragon, Jake Long. Yeah, that was, and that it was so much fun seeing like those characters come together, and this felt along the lines of something like that. This project.
Except I think tonally these two shows fit together than either of these shows would fit with Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, true. Although I would love to see Phineas and Ferb or New Groove Lilo and Stitch crossover.
I wrote one once, but I lost it, so I don't know what happened to it.
Wait, you wrote one between which shows?
The Lilo and Stitch and the Emperor's New Groove.
Oh,
but it was a sequel. So I wrote a sequel to this that was the crossover with Kim Possible, which you can find on thefanfic.net along with the script for this.
I need to look into that.
I thought I had uploaded the Lilo and Stitch one, but apparently I hadn't, so it's just lost forever.
Oh man, that sucks. I mean, Lilo and Stitch, like the original idea for like the original advertising campaign for that movie was like just doing a bunch of crossovers with different Disney films. So like I feel like
loved seeing
directors were the ones who actually pitched that to the marketing team.
Yeah, and those were brilliant. And so I feel like Lilo and Stitch is just one of those franchises that just lends itself very well to crossovers because of that. It's like built into their DNA. This
is sort of off topic on something we were talking about earlier because that's how my brain works. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
You will also notice that while they look like they could be in the same universe, all the Emperor's New Groove / school characters have one more finger than the Phineas and Ferb characters have.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
I did not pick up on that.
Yeah.
So it's like that's interesting. So it's very interesting figuring out like which franchises decide that like the fifth finger is important to include and which one are like no, that's just optional.
Well, and I think in China they all have 5 fingers because 4 is a unlucky number.
Oh,
so
really?
Mickey Mouse has like 5 fingers instead of 3 fingers and something. Yeah, I think so.
I thought 4 was an unlucky number in Japanese, but maybe it's both.
Maybe it's both, but it's definitely unlucky in China because they have a ride there where you're going on. It's basically like, what if the country bears met, but they aren't singing, they're just regular bears, met Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, and you're
Oh,
supposed to be going down mine shaft number 8, which is a lucky number and also a great number because that's the month and day of my birth.
it's all.
Nice.
I also like the number 8 as well, as you for several reasons,
But
as
a
you can tell.
bear is scratching its back with using a track switch as a scratching post
Rookie
or
mistake.
a back scratcher, and it ends up switching, so your car goes into tunnel 4, which means death, basically. But
That
you don't
That's
die
clever.
though. But
that is very fun.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
the lawsuits alone there. Jeez.
and
yeah, that
in
that would not be good for PR.
in Turning Red, the grandma also really doesn't like the number 4.
Yeah, I remember that
Oh
from
yeah.
Turning Red. Although wasn't Turning Red like what was that Chinese, or was that I thought no, I think I'm thinking of I thought maybe it was if it was Thai mythology, but I'm thinking of Molly McGee, I
No,
think.
it's Chinese because well, I think there are those kinds of pandas in other places besides China, but it's Chinese. They're Chinese Canadian.
Yeah, it's definitely
Hmm.
Chinese. I need to rewatch that movie. That is a really good movie. That is
Yeah,
also about a main character turning into an animal.
in the
Uh,
2000s.
yeah, the yeah, I it feels weird that like the 2000s are now like the nostalgia time
Yep.
that people are going into that people are doing period pieces about, because that's when I was a kid. So
Yep,
it's like, oh, that's
I
weird
God.
that that's happening.
Yes.
and the reboots are starting now with like they're bringing back Phineas and Ferb, obviously.
Yeah, which
Uh,
I am excited about. I hope that that's very good.
yeah,
Uh, where's
As an
the
elder
Emperor's New School
millennial,
reboot?
that is
Uh,
so weird. It's
yeah.
such a weird sensation to
I
see.
I would still prefer a continuation over a full on reboot. But then again, the
yeah,
Phineas and Ferb is a continuation, so
yeah. Although an Emperor's New Groove revival would probably not be the same without Eartha Kitt. So
no.
yeah.
Kennedy Milo is why she told me she was the voice, but then like for political reasons or something, they separate her.
Really?
I hope that
Oh,
gets sorted out and they cast her again because she's really good at sounding like Eartha Kitt.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, she did. Yeah, I listened the couple episodes I listened to. Yeah,
oh
she
no,
did a pretty
Emperor's New
good
School
job.
was Eartha Kitt.
What? Seriously?
Yeah, until
yeah.
she
They were
died.
able to
Yeah,
get her back. What wasn't it? Patrick? Did they also bring back Patrick
yeah.
Warburton
Patrick
for that?
Oh
Warburton.
yeah,
Patrick
yeah.
Warburton will be in anything if you could fit it into his schedule. He won't be in
I'm
That is very
he's not in
true.
Mighty Madrosaurs, but because
I'm
apparently
pretty sure like
they couldn't get him for that. But
I think the only one that they didn't bring back the original actor for was Pacha in the later seasons,
in
right?
in the
Or was
first
that the
And
first season?
Spade,
in the
and
first
Spade, right?
they didn't bring back Spade, and in the first season, Fred Tatasciore was Pacha, but in the second season, and supposedly according to JP Manu, who voices Cusco, this is because his kids asked him why he wasn't coming back for it.
Ah,
In the second season, John Goodman returned as Pacha
huh.
because his kids
Oh,
wanted him
nice.
to.
That's nice. I
Yeah.
hadn't heard of that. So is that so? Was he the only one who reprised his role originally, or was there other ones?
Uh, hmm
Like was Pacha the only one who didn't reprise his role for the show?
Pacha and Cusco.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
And some minor characters. Like some characters were voiced by people who worked on the storybook boards and stuff that they weren't in the show because it wasn't the same team. Um
uh,
like
Hmm.
the two old guys who play checkers are I think they're both played by Jeff Bennett in the show. I forget who plays the short one in the movie, but the tall one is played by a friend of me and also recent guest on Escape from Walt Disney, Steven Anderson in the movie. Um, and you can
oh,
tell because the tall skinny one has the exact same voice he uses for Bud in Meet the Robinsons.
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't
nice.
make that connection. That's fun. I like that.
Yeah. Um, and what's the name? Someone plays the official who was later named the Royal Record Keeper in the show. Joe White, I think, is the name of the guy who plays him in the movie. He's an actor who I think he was in some video games or something. Um, but in the TV show, they got someone more famous than him to play the Royal Record Keeper. Oddly enough, they got Rip Taylor to uh play him.
Oh, nice.
What else was he in again? I
I
don't
don't. I'd
recognize
have to
that
look it
name.
up, but he was a comedian. He's no longer alive.
Oh, rest in peace.
And of course, they for the TV show they couldn't get back John Fiedler because he had died. He had died after Kronk's New Groove. Uh,
Oh,
so they got Travis Oates, who's the voice of Piglet now, or at least he was the voice of Piglet at the time, and was the voice of Piglet in the 2011 movie as well, which came out later after The Emperor's New School. Um, but Patty Deutsch, who plays the waitress, returns as the lunch lady, who is the waitress from the movie.
oh,
Um,
that's nice.
and of course, Bob
That's cool.
Bergen is Bucky in everything that has Bucky in it.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Squeaker squeaking.
Squeak, squeaker, squeak, squeak. You owe me a new acorn. Um,
I need to brush up on my squirrelies or squirrel speak, whatever it's officially called.
yeah. Um, Bucky was not in this.
Yeah, he wasn't.
I wonder a while back before I started actually creating like media on besides fanfics and I actually started getting a following through videos and stuff. I had wanted to do a direct sequel to this that was like a Phineas and Ferb and other Phineas and Ferb crossover that had more characters from Phineas and Ferb who weren't in this, like Kronk interacting with uh the Fireside Girls and stuff was an idea I had.
Oh, that would have been so fun.
Yeah.
That would be so great.
But then
I'm
again, you could do an entire like Avengers of just Kronk and Isabella and which one Huey, Dewey, or Luke? Which one's the junior woodchuck?
I mean in the original DuckTales it's all of them, but in 2017 it's just Huey.
But you would also have to have Launchpad in there because you'd have to have Launchpad and Kronk
Of course,
interact.
That would be a great combo.
Launchpad McQuack and Kronk is like a match made in heaven. What what I'm imagining for how Bucky could be involved in that is that like he's being brought in as like a temporary agent of Alka.
Yeah,
That would be hilarious to see.
yeah.
And have him like interact with like Perry and Pinky and
The brain. No, that's
Peter
a
and
different Pinky.
probably some characters that don't start with the letter P.
Planty starts with P, so I don't know.
Oh yeah, Planty the potted plant. I almost forgot about him.
Well, he has a whole Twitter account, you know. He has
He
for years.
does?
Yeah, for like
Oh
10
my
years at
goodness.
least. I've
I
known Potty on Twitter. Yeah.
I did not
Planty
know
on Twitter.
that. I need to
Potty.
look into that.
Potty would be a very awkward name. I said
Yeah.
potty by accident.
Oh no. Yeah. Oh geez.
Planty. Yeah. I think there might be more than one, but there's one. I think it's Planty is their handle that I've been mutuals with on Twitter since I started. I think on Twitter.
That's fun.
Nice.
Well, that's another reason for me to stay on Twitter.
And I did one with Gravity Falls, which I recorded episode of the podcast where we read through it for my birthday a few years ago.
Oh yeah. I need to listen to that episode.
Yeah. I don't know if I'll revisit that in anime. If I do, I'm probably gonna recast some of the people, honestly, because I have people who do better, the voices better. I hope
Yeah.
that's not upset. I mean, some of the people that I'm talking about got voice roles in this, so they still get voice roles in my stuff, just not these specific characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
But
mean, there's nothing wrong with throwing the line out there, see who you can get.
yeah, Charlie Marlowe is the voice of Cusco in this, who you will
Charlie did absolutely great in this.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely
he really
perfect
had the snark.
Cusco.
they sorry.
Yeah, they.
Oh, yep, gotcha.
But
They
yeah, they were great.
they are most known for real-time fan dubs and recently Well Abridged Me Princess on YouTube.
Well, Abridged Me Princess is fantastic. I have actually got had Charlie do some voices for my own videos, and they are amazing to work with.
Yeah. And
And
Charlie was the narrator in Beware the Groove and is going to be the narrator in After the Groove as
yeah,
well.
Nice.
that was cool to see. A little bit of cross promotion, would that be the right word for
Yeah,
with this?
and of
Like,
course the
Mhm.
also from Well Bridge Me Princess and Real Time Fan Dubs, the voice of Melina was Shelby Sessler, who voices Sprite in Sprite Pepsi in uh Well
oh
Bridge Me
right,
Princess.
yes, I recognize them now. That the Melina their Melina voice was perfect. I
Oh
thought
yeah,
like
absolutely spot on.
I could not even I could not recognize even a difference from the original voice on that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, no,
I
yeah,
al-
when I heard that, I was kind of blown away because just from the couple episodes I had seen and hearing that, I'm like, oh my god, she's got the little high pitched tone,
Yeah.
that slight little raspy sound
Yeah.
that Melina has for that little cute voice,
Yeah.
like just perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Sprite Pepsi is my favorite character in Well Abridged Me Princess. Justice for Sprite. I just wanted to put that out there. Uh,
Um
I really like that show.
Gabby
So,
Tyrell was the voice of Yzma.
oh yeah, she did great. Also,
Hmm.
Ghoulish Gabs on various social medias, including her YouTube, where she does lots of videos about Disney and Disneyland, and she's been on Escape from Walt Disney a few times.
yeah, what wasn't she also on the Yzma's new
Yeah,
podcast
the episode
episode?
she did a couple Halloween episodes of our podcast where it was the same thing as what we do for the podcast, except instead of me, it was Yzma and Kronk and special guests, which you were one of them in one of them.
Wait,
Miss Spookbox.
no, I wasn't. No,
Oh,
I wasn't.
sorry, sorry.
That was my evil double, Miss Spookbox 8, who is totally a different person from me.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry.
telling you, IMDb. Listen to me. We are different characters. We
Come on, Micah, you got to get your lore right.
yeah.
Right.
It's okay. Nobody knows what my lore is.
Um, who else was it? The jingle. I could talk about the jingle. I don't think that's a spoiler. That the Doofenshmirtz jingle is in this in some form.
I mean
Um,
it just kind of has to be there, right?
Oh yeah,
that
yeah.
was me, Diego Lacamara, and Madison Lawing, who I've known for a while, who is a huge fan of Emperor's New Groove and Phineas and Ferb. So when I asked for people to do that, they were one of the first people who volunteered. Um, and then I do a few voices besides Kronk that I think most of them are spoilers, so I'm not gonna.
Oh
Uh
yeah. Yeah, I'll say your joke at the end. That one had me laughing really hard. That was a
yeah, that
solid
was
joke,
funny.
and
Yeah,
we'll just leave it at that.
yeah,
Yeah, you all need to watch this animatic when it comes out to understand what we're talking about.
yeah.
Oh, how
Um,
about Marcus Cotton as
yeah. Oh
Doofenshmirtz?
yeah, that was when I was
Holy.
amazed when he did
Yeah,
his audition.
very good, Doofenshmirtz. Doofenshmirtz is kind of a uh, it is kind of a hard voice to get like just right, but
Yeah,
they did great.
Well,
yeah,
especially having doing that making that noise.
yeah. That sounds more
It's
like Dr. Scratch and Sniff, honestly.
Ah, Penny the Platypus.
It's platypus.
How
uh
unexpected, and by unexpected, I mean unexpected. Uh,
yeah, being able to do that, that puts a lot of strain on your throat,
Yeah,
and to even have that still give that voice range, that was very impressive. I loved his work on that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, everybody involved in this did great. All of the voice work, and that.
I mean, it's pretty much voice work, writing, and drawings. Or
Yeah, and and yes, and they were all done very well.
yeah,
Yes, stupendously done well. Go
yeah.
see it.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I just saw like the rough version of it. I can't wait to see like the final version when it's
Yeah.
done.
Oh yeah, because Micah, you said you hadn't added music to it yet.
I added music to the YouTube version, but I didn't add music to the version you all saw.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah,
used YouTube music, so.
Oh yeah,
And the reason I
see.
used YouTube music is because I do have a composer that I work with, Jacob Martin. But when I started this, we weren't working together yet, so I had started using stock music. So I decided, for consistency's sake, the whole thing is going to be stock music.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, there's some really good stuff in the YouTube audio library. You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
I
And also some of the music helps cover up some of the less. I'm not the best audio editor in the world, so there's some audio pops and stuff that the music covers up a bit better than without it.
Yeah, music is great for stuff like that.
Yeah, good for that. Filling little voids, things like that. Yeah.
Whenever I'm making a video, I never really feel like it's completely like it's not until I start adding the music where I'm like, oh yeah, this is finally a thing,
and
that this feels like a real project.
it feels like a real product, and it also just goes by a lot faster.
Yeah.
It feels a lot better paced with music.
Yeah, because probably because of like the music always has like a rhythm keeping things along.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and this, for those who don't know because they haven't watched this, or they're listening to this if it gets out before the episode comes out, this is actually like an episode length thing. It is not
it's
like
like
a short.
yeah.
It's like 20 minutes long, just about. One thing that one regret I have is that there's not a song in it.
yeah, I mean that's the one thing that is missing from the Phineas and Ferb side of things, because Phineas and Ferb always has to have a song. But I understand why that might have been more difficult to do at the time.
Yeah.
We'll just say that it's like one of the very first episode of Phineas and Ferb didn't have a song, so we'll just say it was one of those from like the very early on. I mean it did have the Perry the Platypus theme in the credits, but besides that,
Yeah.
they even had to like compensate for it by like, oh, the first episode didn't have a song. Well, we're gonna remake that episode and it's gonna be a full musical.
Yeah.
So there's a ton of songs. But yeah,
that's what we have to do then. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
future goals, Micah.
Hey, look, if you want to make this into a musical, I am in. I'll just tell you that. I don't know what song Ferb could be doing. I mean, Ferb sings a lot of songs in the show. It's just not usually with his voice. It's usually like Dan or Swampy, like doing a jarringly grown-up adult voice for this small child.
Yeah, that's a gag that came from, I don't know if it came from, but it also was in Recess a lot with Mikey. His voice was Robert Coulier.
Oh yeah,
when he sings.
I remember that. That was a really good show. Also,
that crossed over with Lilo and Stitch as well.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier.
They had, I think they had to do something, I don't remember what, to convince the people who were greenlighting the episodes to greenlight that episode, because the show had been over for so long they didn't think any kid would know what it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
That's interesting to me because I mean, when I watched that episode, I was like, "Oh yeah, Recess. Of course I know
Yeah,
that
I
show.
grew
That's
up
on
with
reruns all the time."
with one Saturday morning, so I saw lots of Recess reruns and stuff.
I remember because I did research at the time and I heard that like that episode originally only aired on Toon Disney because Recess aired on Toon Disney. So but I was watching Lilo and Stitch in reruns on Disney Channel after Toon Disney had stopped being a thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh my god, are they going to ever air this episode again? I need to see this episode." And so I thought like maybe they'll just air it on Disney XD because that's what like replaced Toon Disney at the time.
Yeah.
But then when it came into the rotation, it just aired on Disney Channel anyway. So I was like, oh, I guess they just stopped doing that. All right.
Yeah.
And now I think it's on Disney Plus now.
I'm pretty sure
Should be.
the entirety of Lilo and Stitch the series is on Disney Plus. Yes.
And that makes me really happy because
I don't think. Oh, go ahead.
there are just some shows that I watched on Disney Channel when I was a kid that for some reason they don't have everything on Disney Plus. Disney, I am asking you politely, please put season 2 of The Replacements on Disney Plus. I am begging you. The season 2 was the best one. I needed that in my life
Supposedly,
again.
there's going to be a lot of stuff from Disney television animation because I think they're turning 40 this year. Supposedly, a lot of shows are going to be dropping on Disney Plus this year. I don't
I
know.
hope
I
so.
hope so.
I don't know how accurate it is, but like, there's rumors about like Buzz Lightyear,
Oh my god,
Tarzan.
that is a long time coming.
I don't think Aladdin is on there. Is one of the rumors I saw. Unfortunately,
Oh well.
Replacement
Brandy and Mr.
season
Whiskers.
2. Please, Replacement season 2.
I don't
If
remember,
so
but it
help me,
might
if
have been on there. Yeah,
if they put Schnookums and Meat on there,
that was
before
one of the
Aladdin
rumored
comes
ones. Yeah,
out, that's just wrong.
I mean,
Mikhail will
Schnookums
be
and
happy.
Oh, I know he will.
Schnookums and Meat was definitely before my time, but
Yeah,
I
me
would be
too.
very interested in checking it out if they added it on Disney Plus. So
It is a weird and zany show.
I mean, isn't it
yeah,
like
I mean,
Disney's answer to Ren and Stimpy, basically?
yeah, I
Well,
mean, there's no way that Disney doing Ren and Stimpy will not be weird.
and just to cross-reference here, because there was the Tony and David Gansel talking about that on the not on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So Schnookums and Meat was created pre Ren and Stimpy, but
Yeah.
greenlit after.
Oh no way!
So it was
Oh, yeah.
created as its own thing, but then some executive said, "This is kind of like this other show. We're gonna greenlight it."
Oh, that I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Because
You know what's not coming to Disney Plus anytime soon?
what?
The Sweatbox.
Oh yeah, I mean, is that even like is that even technically a Disney movie?
I think they own the rights. Yeah, that's why it's never been legally released.
Yeah, that
You can
makes
only
sense.
find it on the Internet Archive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least yeah. I mean I can see why they would never want that to be on Disney Plus, but you know, at least it's available somehow. Technically,
There's
it
so
would
many.
be great if they would. Like, it's a fascinating look behind,
Yeah.
the creative process.
There are
What
other.
can go, what goes right, what goes wrong.
There are other
how things change.
documentaries. Maybe they're less controversial, but also about very messy productions that are on there. So I don't know. Maybe someday. But
what other ones are there? The only
Frozen
doc
2 apparently went through a lot of
Oh yeah,
difficult
I've heard
stuff.
about that.
Heard about
Someday
that.
they're gonna do a documentary about whatever the hell happened with Wish.
Yeah, I hope so
Oh,
because there's a
yeah.
lot going on with that. I've heard a lot about like the old production ideas that were like this would be so cool. Why didn't you do this? But yeah, I mean I liked Wish
I liked
enough.
it okay.
I
It was an
It was
underwhelming
it was
anniversary
okay.
movie. That's how I would describe it.
it was an
for an
okay
anniversary movie. Okay's just, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it was released just like any other year, it would be like, all right. I mean, it's fine.
But
I
I can tell
feel
you. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, it's okay. But like any other year, I feel like it would be fine. But because that was like their big anniversary celebration, it's like you could have done some better things on this. But
I had an
I
idea when it came out of how to keep it from becoming a flop, but of course I never told Disney this, so they never did it. They should
uh,
have done what people thought they were going to do and released Once Upon a Studio and advertise it, and people would have gone just to see that, and they would have made the money.
yeah,
I'm
I
so
don't.
shocked that wasn't a precursor, a little, yeah, like a one of their little
Like
animation openings that
supposedly
they had
it's
done
I
co-
during
mean,
like
it's
Coco
gonna
and
be on the
things.
DVD, but like you can watch it on YouTube. What
Yeah, what's
does it matter that
the
and,
it's on the
point?
and
DVD?
it's on Disney Plus also.
Yeah.
I cannot think of a single reason why they would not want to show that short before the movie. Because like because Wish actually ends with like in the end credits it
Yeah,
has like all of the
and Yzma's
like
there,
yeah, it has all of the constellations of the different Disney movie characters, and
but
it's like
Meet
if
the
you
Robinsons isn't there though.
that's a shame. But if you had Once Upon a Studio playing before that, then
Yeah,
like it would feel like everything was like bookended and it was all part of one big thing.
yeah.
Like why did you not do that? I
I
don't
don't know.
understand.
Like, unless they're
Yeah,
But
gonna throw in some behind the scenes of the short specifically on the DVD, I don't see any reason why adding it to the DVD will boost sales.
I mean even then like you could still have put it before the movie.
Yeah.
I don't
yeah. I mean,
know.
Maybe they'll
growing
re-release
up
it
back
with the movie about with a short before it.
maybe. I mean, growing up back in the '90s, having those little animated cartoons before movies, the Roger Rabbit shorts.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers did Box Office Bunny
The
and
Runaway
Carablanca.
Brain.
Oh my God, Runaway Brain! I got to see that in theaters, and like,
I did
yeah,
too.
sometimes you
I
would
don't
hear about
remember
it, and yeah,
seeing it
you
very well.
just
Oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
you
Sorry.
just went to see the movie strictly for the cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfectly reasonable. And then you sat around. If the movie was good, hey, you're in an air conditioned building in the summer. Take a load off and
I remember
uh,
when Frozen came out, people were making a bigger deal about the short before it and Frozen was a monster deal on its own. People were making a bigger deal about the short before it when it first came out.
What was the short that was before
Get a
Frozen?
Horse.
Oh, Get a Horse. Oh, I
yeah,
love Get a Horse.
Yeah.
That is such a good cartoon. I that would have also been a good one to play before Wish, to be honest. But
yeah.
that
I saw Frozen a couple of times strictly in 3D just because of Get a Horse. That
Yeah.
I was blown away when that started up. I hadn't seen something like that in over a decade.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know when I saw Frozen. I didn't know that there was going to be a short before it, but it was a fun time. I was like, what Frozen was like 2013, right?
Yep.
So I would have been 12 at the time. Uh, and I love like the old Mickey Mouse cartoons, and that
Yeah.
was just like a perfect like tribute to them. Only thing is, I wish it had a bit more Oswald, but
Yeah.
he was in there a little bit, but it's
But we got the ultimate Oswald crossover later with Cusco. So
wait, really? What?
in Once Upon a Studio, Oswald bumps into Cusco.
Oh,
Oh
right,
yeah,
right.
that's
I
right.
remember that, and he goes, "No touchy."
Yeah, and it's clearly just audio from the movie that they reused.
Yeah, but it was used well.
It was
Uh,
animated all entirely new by and I watched it with Nick Raniere and Tony Bancroft, who did not get to animate Kronk, unfortunately, and was very upset about that, but did get to
uh,
animate Pumbaa and Timon. And Nick Raniere, who got to animate Cusco. I watched it premiere with them on TV.
oh, that's
Over
awesome.
over
Oh, that's
Zoom.
cool.
And then we interviewed them about it. Yeah. And then later I
Yeah.
got to interview the directors of Once Upon a Studio, thanks
Uh,
to Disney.
that short was so good. It was beautifully animated. Just everything about it was great.
Yeah.
It was a fun, like pause and just pick out what you can, like, one of those little crowded scenes where you try to spot as many little details or
I
hidden
think-
things as
Yeah.
possible.
I think.
Um,
Go ahead.
I mean, I have a lot of problems with the Disney as a company right
Yeah.
now for a lot of good reasons, but like that
Oh, yeah.
short really did remind me of like, oh yeah, there is a reason I do like these guys. They can do really good stuff if they try.
Yeah.
And but anyway, what were you saying?
Oh, I was saying I think one of the reasons that you don't see as many people complaining about Once Upon a Studio as other big crossover things is, for one, it's kept to a single studio, not an entire corporation.
Yeah.
Also, it's like a 9-minute short and not an entire movie.
Yeah. And it's I mean,
Like, I'd love to
Short and
see
sweet.
90 minutes of just these characters interacting, but I don't think it would get good reviews.
I mean, that's what they were trying to do with there was like this idea for a movie that was
Mickey
gonna be like
Mouse.
the one where Mickey Mouse goes missing, and they were going to have characters from like every movie they'd done up to that
This is
point.
sort of like the eventual child of that concept.
Yeah, I think Once Upon a Studio is like the closest thing they'll ever do to that. I'm surprised that they haven't done like a theatrical Mickey Mouse movie.
Well,
After
2020,
that.
if there's a time to do it, they need to do it and get it out by 2028, because that's going to be Mickey's 100th anniversary.
Oh yeah, that would be a perfect time to do that.
You screwed
Hopefully-
up the Disney anniversary, so make Mickey's birthday count, Disney.
Yeah, you got a second chance. I mean, the Mickey Mouse documentary that they released for the 90 years I thought was pretty good, but
Was that the one? Or no, I'm thinking of the Mickey Mouse documentary they released for after Disney Plus became a thing. 90 years would have been 2018, which would have been before Disney Plus.
wait, no. I got the years wrong. My bad. Just it was the one after Disney Plus.
The one where they have, technically this is the second place you could see this on Disney Plus. They have the mascot of an evil corporation in the documentary.
Yeah, they do have that. I thought it was a pretty good documentary. They did gloss over a couple things, although they acknowledged a lot more stuff that I didn't expect that they would. Like they totally acknowledged the fact that like some old Mickey cartoons have like blackface and stuff, and like I was not expecting them to ever directly mention that ever again, but I mean, props to them for at least talking about that a little bit. And
yeah, definitely surprising.
Yeah, I mean it
Go ahead.
I don't know what else I was gonna say, but yeah, it was a pretty good film, I thought. Oh yeah, and also around that time they released the Steamboat Silly, which was just a short in the Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse, but that was super fun, which I feel like in retrospect was probably like that kind of a spoof on how what they thought was going to happen when Steamboat Willie went into the public domain. So anyway, Platypus New Groove.
Yeah.
We kind of got off topic there.
That happens.
A lot.
But I wanted to give a shout out to someone. I don't know if they're going to be listening to this, but I want to give a shout out to Kenny J at Disney Plus on Twitter, who works at Disney Plus and is going to be watching this at some point. So that's cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
What were you gonna say, Jukebox?
I don't know what else I was going to say. I was just I don't think I had anything else to say.
Oh, okay.
I was just joking about how we just got very off topic. Anyway, not that that's a problem. It's very fun talking to you guys about this stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we do here.
Yeah. It's always a delight being on the podcast.
Yeah. It's a
And I will
delight to
also
have you.
point out the
Thank
irony
you.
that one of the a voice actor has been very quiet this whole thing. I'm not a very social person, but I was very glad to do this and talk to you about this. This was fun.
Yeah. I think that should do it. So do y'all have anything you want to plug besides this?
Well, I mean, I have my YouTube channel called Miss Jukebox 8 where I mean, I do a lot of things. Mainly I've just been doing like live streams of video games. I'm starting Mega Man 5 and Mega Man Battle Network pretty soon. So, I mean, if anybody watching likes those, you know, go check me out. I'm also I'm also working on like some narrative short films, including one called Just Johnny, that's about one of my old characters from an old video I did, that and it that's going to be fun when that's finished. So look forward to that, maybe. I'm also on Twitter at juke_box8 because for some reason I'm still on that website despite everything.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's
that
it's
that
hard
that
to walk away from the dumpster fire.
yeah, I mean, so many of my friends are still in the
Hmm.
dumpster fire, so I gotta keep up with them. But you know, um, yeah, that should about cover it.
Yeah, I'm still on Twitter at AcoVT. Old that was from college days. On Blue Sky at Joe Kaufman VO. Got a website, joekaufmanvo.com. Have my demos there, video games, advertisements, animation. Check it out. If you like what you hear, you can reach out to me through my webpage.
All right.